So kind of what we'll talk about today too. Good morning, happy Wednesday. I'm so excited because whenever the weather is nice enough in here in Michigan where you can sit with the door open, it's just something that boosts it's like putting a black label on your physical brain, like inside of your head. It's just such a good feeling. Also, all that's on my background, I wish I could show you guys this, is a picture of Kristen Scott with the biggest hair I've ever seen her have. It's epic. I love it. Go to her page and check it out. It's on my Facebook. I don't know why it's just sitting up there. It's hilarious. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about, stop with the windows open. Rebecca, I'm jealous. Even though we moved to the country, Haas is still in the city. So he's like, lock the doors and don't open the windows. And I'm like, dude, we're good. Only mosquitoes getting in here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about building content, and I'm going to use some of the stuff that happened or that was talked about at convention again, because I think it's really important. Even when I was doing that branding circle, I found a lot of things that would continue to brand Sydnee now. And if you guys look at the circle example, Kimberly Rogers actually sent me the one from the social media training. So what I'll do is I'll bump it in the hustle page if you don't already have it. There's Kristen. So what she did show though was former things. Like she's got on there former pageant. I'm not sure what the right word is, but former pageant woman. She had like former 9-to-5er. So when you're doing like a part of your brand and you're doing this little 5-circle thing where you're kind of finding things about you that other people could relate to, you can use other things in your past life, right? Like when I was doing it, I was like, oh, well, I guess like I was a gymnast for majority of my childhood. I was a dancer for majority of my childhood. It really made me think. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually used to play the violin. Like there was a lot of things that I used to do that could be relatable now to other people. And so I have this like little ABCs of building content. I always go back to Fraser Brooks because he has the best like acronyms, and it always helps me remember things better when I can say like ABC, or he's got like the FAM for when you're finding friends. So I wanted to make it easy with this ABC of building content. And one of the things when we talk about content too, that I want you guys to remember is number one, this team is so incredible. We have so many resources at our fingertips. It's really just a matter of if you use it or not. And I loved this piece that I picked up on a podcast from someone because she was giving out like free information. And someone's like, well, why do you give out like free information? You don't charge anybody for like, you know, the stuff you're giving that's helping you grow your business. 2 reasons, right? Number one is having an abundant mentality. I always want to share what works best for me with anyone, especially all along this team. But number 2 is there's going to be some people who hear it and never do it. Let's not be the some people who hear it and never do it. And we'll leave that for like all the other people. And I thought when I heard that, it just clinched onto my mind because I was like, you know what? We can give everybody in here all of the tools to utilize to grow their business, to grow their social media, to grow their mindsets. But if you don't utilize the tools that you have, that's why you stay in the spot that you're in. And I'm speaking to myself too, because sometimes I don't even realize or think about how much resources we have in here that can be used. So that being said, there is every single day, I am posting some kind of lifestyle content. And if you've kind of seen them and you don't know, you're like, what's that? I really wanted to make it in more of a, what's that word? Like in school, like a Spark Notes or something. Can't think of the word. I wanted to rough draft outline it for you, for lack of better words, because I'm not you. So when I say, like, for example, yesterday, I said, Cliff Notes, thank you. When I said that's how I read every book in high school, so I don't know how I can remember that. When I say like yesterday, payday, right? And I say, relate it back to, I had in there because it was auto bonus day. So if you're an auto bonus person like Kristen, I loved her post because it relates to so many people. She talked about having a minivan and going back to the minivan. Minivans are cool. First of all, we're not dissing minivans, but I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people who would much rather, especially when their kids are older, drive a smaller vehicle that's souped up, that's cool, and that is paid for by someone else. It's basically free. So reminding those people that are watching you, right? Your audience, those people that are consistently, maybe they're just watching and they're not looking, but they're going, oh, well, I drive a minivan. My kids are getting older. I would love to have something like that. Or even if I'm driving a minivan, I have small kids, I would actually love that $300 towards my minivan payment. So when you're looking at these posts, I want you to really just step into them. I want to give you my best outline. And I think what I'm going to do moving forward is give you the day ahead of time. So like today, I'll post for tomorrow so that you have the opportunity to kind of think on it. I realized as I was doing it, I was like, you know what, Sydnee, like I'm really easy and quick with the content because I've been doing it so long. It's a muscle that's already built in my body. But as we're bringing on so many new people onto this team, I was like, you know what, I need to give people more time to think about what they're posting so they're not worried about it when I'm posting it in the morning of. So I'm going to do that too. But what I want is to take you all the way back. Like I made a post in my stories yesterday about our vacuum breaking. I have just learned in my time that, of course, I can talk about how I do this as a full-time business. That will attract some people, right? There's probably a small percentage of people who will work the business like as hard as, because goals are different, right? If I'm going to try to attract the people that are like me 6 years ago, it was the people who would have got pissed off about breaking a vacuum because they didn't have an extra $200 to go get a new one. So I posted about a vacuum yesterday. I posted about Costco trips yesterday. It can be very, very, I think it's basic in our mind, but someone else is going to look at it and go, oh my gosh, I can't even afford a Costco membership. That was me. Could not even afford a Costco membership. Now I can just walk through there, grab what I need. Like there's an extreme amount of gratitude that I feel as if it's selfish if I don't share that with other people. You're not boasting, you're not bragging. If people feel that way, they can kindly unfollow you. They don't even need to word on it. What you're doing is you're showing people that there is another way, and it can be an extra $200 a month, $200 a week, whatever it might be, right? So that's what those lifestyle posts are really designed for, are for you to step into your story a little bit more, but also like you're kind of giving people like a snack without giving them the whole kitchen. This is what this is about. And then when they ask, hey, you know what, actually, I want to know how I can get some extra grocery money. Then you can go right into the business. You didn't have to post on your page, join me. Join me doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. I wish it did. Well, let me tell y'all, if you went back to all my beginning messages when I first started this, I probably went A through Z in my Facebook friends and was like, join my team, join my team. I didn't even know what my team was about at that time, but I was like, join my team. Ignorance on fire is a beautiful thing. Now things have changed a little bit where there are more people doing things online. There are more people leading in industries. So you really want someone that's going to go, you know what, I really align with that person and I want to be a part of what they're doing. So that's what the lifestyle posts are for. I really just didn't want to confuse anybody because I know there's a lot of new people coming in and I didn't want them to look at them and go, well, I don't really know what to put. And remember, you can always use my wording. I'm sure everybody on this team would agree, like it's social media, it's public. Feel free to take someone's and make it your own, but don't suffer or struggle from that comparitis. Like don't where it's like, oh my gosh, you know what? I don't get an auto bonus. So I don't want to talk about how, you know, it's that, or I don't make an extra $200 a week. So I don't want to talk. That's fine. If it covers your kids' field trip money, that's something that someone else doesn't have that they're looking to have. Okay. Yeah, you can always put questions in the comments. Thanks, Kristen. So the ABCs of building content is really what I wanted to create to help you guys when you are looking at your lifestyle posts and you're just going, okay, where do I start here? Or what can I do here? And I want to remind you, this is not meant to be stressful. This is meant to be fun too. So if one day you're like, you know what, it's just not coming to me that day, I always say post under inspiration and intention. Don't post under desperation because that's not going to get anything. And it's going to create this really negative bound thing where you're like, well, that didn't work. And no one's commenting, no one's liking. So this is stupid. Sydnee's stupid. No, I'm just kidding. But you're going to go into this big circle of why social media is not working for you. You're never going to get there, right? So when you're doing this, the first thing of the ABCs of building content is going to be is your content attractive? And that's why I really wanted to start the lifestyle post, because we're really trying to attract more people to our content. Okay. And when we hear attraction too, I don't want you to think of, if I put my product up and I cover my hand, someone's going to ask about it. That's not what I want you to think of. I want you to think of, if you were scrolling Facebook, okay? And especially if you're like me and you're extremely squirrely, you only got me for like 2 seconds, dude. But if it's attractive to me, I will stop and read it. I'll stop and hop on your live. I'll stop and look at your picture. So think about, like, when someone is looking at your stuff, is it attractive to them? So when we talk about like photos, I have this old graphic that I made that I'm going to share inside the Team Hustle page, but it gives you all of your basic phone features. It's from like a little course that we had done a while ago, but it gives you all your basic phone features on like its own. Time lapse, your portrait photo, how to use your timer, how you can flip over your phone, do the width, create more width in your phone, because I do believe at this point in time, photos make people stop. And that's why I encourage everybody, even when you have a post that's something as far as engagement, or like yesterday, if you're talking about your gas money, which even though it's Wednesday, you can still talk about payday yesterday. If you forgot to do it, or maybe you just got inspired by something that was said here, go do it. No one needs to know. It's fine. Do it. You can say paid weekly. But you can take a picture of you at your gas tank, you at the grocery store, you pushing your cart out, you bringing your groceries in. Very simple things like that. And then utilize your phone. Y'all, most of the time, if my 5-year-old is not available for me to take a photo, I'm putting it on something. I have all the fancy ring lights and all that kind of stuff. I still find myself setting my phone down on a tree, on a table, on a chair, wherever I can, and then play with it a little bit. Like maybe you're tilting it. I'm not saying your photo has to be perfect, but if it makes you feel better and it is building more attractive content to you, with having different things like, and I have on this graphic, like try to have minimal things in your background, okay? Like I know I'm terrible at this because I squirrel out. So like if I see right now in my head, I'm like, wow, my camera's on the table, my laptop's over there. You guys can see my treadmill and my couch. My whole living room's dirty. Things like that, right? Where you could just maybe go outside and just use like the background of the sky. So try to make things less distracting. There are great ways, like for example, with the product, right? If you want to do a product photo, instead of using a product of just a shake that the company gives you, okay? And you can use these in your stories, that's fine. I'm talking about basically on your page. Instead of doing something like that, maybe go outside, hold this in your hands, and take a photo with it. Or maybe shake up a shake and have it going and you're doing a boomerang with it. Something where you just get a little bit more creative, where it encourages someone to stop and they're like, what's that about? Yes. And I love how you do that too, Kristen, because your lifestyle is very like health and wellness. And that goes into, I'm sure, a lot of your brand, which is my B. The other thing I was going to, when it comes to attractive this week, okay, remind yourself, make a little Post-it note, do whatever you got to do. I have a Post-it note so that I remind myself, connected to my computer. Whenever I'm just like working for maybe like 10 or 15 minutes, and I think to myself like, okay, and I always try to work without my phone if I'm on my computer, or vice versa, no distractions, that's just me. If I'm on my computer, I'll set my phone up on time lapse or video, and I'll just make a quick video of me typing, or of me, I love making quick videos of me making up samples. Hold on to these and utilize these for content in the future. Like if you go to my reels, you'll see a couple reels with songs. I always use a trending song, right? But you can then put words on top of it with just a quick video of you working, a quick video of you making up samples. So content doesn't have to be where, especially if you're the person that's struggling right now with like, okay, maybe I'm not comfortable using the lip syncing reels, or I just can't figure any of them out yet. Start using just content of you working, building up trials, maybe unpackaging something. Perfect example is using our 3 steps in the morning. Just do a quick time lapse of that. And then you can throw that with a trending reel sound and write on the reel, like, just a mom who is struggling with energy, found a super easy 3-step system, comment me below. Also, what happens there too, when you do the ones with like words on them, people have to stop for a second and read it, or watch it again, or watch it again and again and again and read it, because they're not going to get it all in 2 seconds. So that is a great idea on ways to build more content, is just simply taking pictures and videos of you as you're doing everyday things. And it's like what Kristen was saying, is you do it with your lifestyle. Then it's all fitting into your life, right? You're working, even if you're working out or something, like that's why I try to put my patch in the best visible places now that it's summertime and we can show our skin a little more. I try to put them in the best visual places so that people will ask. Even when I'm going live and I'm not talking about Thrive, someone will comment like, what's that on your arm? What's that sticker? Or you got something on your arm right there, right? So the A is attractive. Is your content attractive? And the way we're going to get better at doing that is by doing it more. By doing it more, by doing it more, by doing it more. B is brand. So does it match your brand? And have you done like a little circle graph, kind of figuring out what your brand is? Like, for example, when I think of Kristen talking about, I do the product with me and it shows my lifestyle, she does a lot of working out. She does a lot of like running around. So it's perfect for her to fit the product right in with that lifestyle. When I say like, have you done your 5 circle too? I say, think of 4 to 5 things that you would like to talk about other than business or opportunity. On those days when you have your content that's 80% you, what would you talk about? What part would you talk about? And if you're struggling with that, go outside today, get some fresh air and think. Just think about some basic things. It doesn't have to be super in depth, but like for me, I've got that I'm a boy mom, I'm a wife, which is very important to me. I love traveling. I love anything tacos. Take me anywhere tacos. I'll try them all. And then health and wellness, because I do like exercising. I do like vitamins. I like doing things that help build a healthier lifestyle. Maybe for you, it's like gardening. I would love to get into gardening. I just suck at it. Cooking, things like that, that you could talk about on those other days that define your brand. So that maybe when you're doing a live, and as you get more comfortable with lives too, you can start doing them about these things that brand you. Some of my most popular lives that Haas and I have done are us cooking in the kitchen. And it's incredible because I was talking about this at the training a couple Tuesdays ago with Carrie Ann. We still to this day get people asking us and following us about Thrive from a cheeseburger video Haas did 3 years ago. It still like gets bumped up. And I still can tell you the 3 customers that consistently order from that too. So brand, does what you're talking about and what you're posting about match your brand as well? Is it you? And that's why when I did these lifestyle posts and I was like, should I write out the post for them? Should I say what I'm saying? And I was like, that though would be hard for someone to, if I write it out, what if our brands don't align? What if I'm writing about boy mom and Haas is on there and he's like, well, I don't know what to say about that. I'm sure everybody can tell when I write Haas's posts too, because I try to like de-girlify them, but I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do it. I'm like, do I put bro? Does that make it sound more like a you thing? But so think about that too. Does everything you're posting match up with your brand so that you have a very simple way of saying like, oh, okay, I know what to post today. And I'm also going to post, I found this, it's very old. So if there's anything in it, discrepancies, I'll look at it first, but it's 40 engagement posts. I made this a long time ago. It actually might be in the Hustle Guide, but it's 40 engagement posts that you could make. And again, you could use pictures of you with this, with your Thrive stuff. It'd be very simple. Or you can just use these questions. But like the other day, I felt like I was only getting Thrive, like this team liking on my stuff. I was like, I need to switch this up a little bit. I need to play with my own algorithm. So I made a little post saying, what was your dream job growing up? And what do you do now? And it was fun because it also gave me an opportunity to learn about my audience, but also it was a bunch of people who haven't commented on my stuff lately. So I was like, oh, sweet. Let me just switch it up and engage with those people. So you could use some of these posts. I'll post it in later. It's very basic things like what's your biggest pet peeve? What's your favorite food? I'm going to tell you right now, though, the way that my mind works is I already had multiple people put on their dream job thing. Like one girl put, she wanted to own her own business, but now she works for like a coordinational therapy. Easy for me to start building a relationship with her because she's wanted to have a business, right? So where am I going to take that when we talk? Like she's on my lead list now. So I'm like, she already has that business mindset. It's what she's always wanted. So some of these two are really easy ways. Like there's one that says coffee or tea, right? If you got a bunch of people screaming, I need coffee, can go and slide in the DM, start building that relationship with them to be able to be like, hey, actually you don't need coffee. You can use this. Today I asked, did you turn your air on? You better not turn your air on. It's not that hot yet. No, but that's great. Brooke, sorry. Hands in chest for my, okay, show. Silly question, but is there any sort of video for people who need help figuring out, or I will send you one. Brooke asked if people need help figuring out or fine tuning their brand. I can send you like a quick video that Fraser did, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I struggled with that too. Also because like my hobbies are, I like to work. I also like to work. It's just not everybody is going to have these in-depth things, Brooke. Just remember that. Like if it's not like, all of these really cool hobbies that some people have, that's okay. That's a part of branding you. But what I did was what I just said to you guys, I sat outside and I thought for a second, like first of all, what brings me joy? Like what makes me smile? What makes me happy? Being a mom, being a wife, doing anything that helps people health and wellness wise, like get healthier. And maybe for you, it's like, being outside in the sunshine makes you happy. Heck, that's another one I could put on there. Summertime and sunshine make me happiest. But I can send over a quick Fraser Brooks video he does. And he just talks a little bit about it. I don't want you to get too in depth with it. That's why I will recommend that and recommend you to kind of go further, to dig deeper than that. And maybe go back to some of the things in your childhood, right? Like thinking back when I was in gymnastics my whole life growing up, it really does coordinate with me being in a health and wellness business now, because I've always loved staying healthy and exercising and moving your body because it makes you feel better. So maybe something like that as well, but don't get too deep into it. Cause I know for a long time, I struggled with that whole like niche word. I really don't like it because I think it makes people think they have to be one thing. You can only be one thing. You can be as many things as you want, right? As long as you're passionate about them and you can combine them together, right? Like I love traveling and health and wellness. Good thing I joined a business that takes me on trips 3 to 4 times a year. Really works out well, right? So then C, my last one is consistency. And I saw a really cool post about this. It was by Bob Heelig, who's another guy. If you guys ever want someone to like, I hope I spelled his name right. It's Your Virtual Upline. He has a really good podcast. He's a generic network marketing trainer, but he has a really good podcast. I really like his outlook on a lot of things. And remember too, when you're listening to people, don't go like, oh, what he said, maybe I should try that. Do what's working for you and what you feel comfortable doing. Okay. But he has a quick little reel about someone saying, how many times a day should I post? And he was saying, well, how many times a day do you normally post? And I loved that answer because I can't tell you it's 2 to 4 times a day or 4 to 6 times a day. How many times would you normally post? Like yesterday, I posted, I think like 2 times, but I felt like it. I felt like there was things I needed to say. I was engaging online anyway. And then there will be days that maybe I don't get a post in that day and I'm just living off old posts. It's just a matter of you being consistent with you, with what works best for you. So even if you haven't posted in the last 2 days or 3 days, don't get on yourself about it. Maybe take 2 seconds right now and just be like, grr, self, and then go ahead and make a post for the day. Especially if you didn't make one yesterday, try to think of something that you can really utilize how this opportunity helped you. Yesterday was payday. Maybe it was helping paying your internet bill or your phone bill. Maybe it was money in your vacation fund. I mean, things like that would be attractive to other people to make them want to go, oh, you know what? I really need what she has because that is amazing. I will have extra cash for Disney. I will have extra cash for daycare to get my nails done. So consistently posting. Remember, if you need help posting, if you need help just staying consistent, There's the Susie bot. You can start yourself in that Susie bot. I mean, it's first 14 days for brand new promoters, but sometimes you got to go back to the basics, especially if you've been sleeping a little bit. And by sleeping, I mean being not consistent, not really sleeping. But you can go back to Susie bot. They're the first 14-day posts in there. Sometimes I find things in those and I'm like, you know what, that's really good. And I'll just switch it up with what I have. There's, again, the lifestyle posts inside the Hustle and Grow page that you can use. You don't have to use them on that specific date. Go back and read through some of them and maybe you find something that goes, you know what, that speaks to me today. I'm going to use that one today. And then the social media guides. There are guides in the Hustle and Grow page. I know that maybe you know they're there, but maybe your team does not know that they're in there. So what you can do is go to the guides. I believe it's guide, don't quote me on it, but there's one, it literally says social media posts. And here it is, 100 social media and engagement posts. And it's just posts and ideas that have also worked for us. Yes, and everything is always inside the Boards app. So there are a lot of resources here available for you to use to help you stay consistent. One of the things that I do that helps me stay consistent is I set alarms in my phone, especially so that I remember to maybe get a post up or go back and engage. So if you're somebody, especially if you have a 9-to-5 job, or maybe you just have a hyper child like me, set an alarm in your phone, go back and engage, or go back and make a post. This is again why I like going live, because it's less thinking for me. If I can hurry up and just do a live, then that's my post for the day. It's helping me stay consistent. Do whatever you can at all costs to stay consistent. I know it's not easy all the time, and that's why we have this team to lean on if you need that type of help. Get with your upline and say, hey, I need some help in this area. But consistency at all costs. I was just having this conversation with someone because she's like, just joined, but didn't get through her VIP. And she's like, I don't think this is going to work for me. I'm like, dude, it's been 14 days. Do you know, after 14 days of having Zane, I was like, I don't think this is going to work for me. Was I supposed to give him back? You have to stay consistent in some things. And this is one of them, especially if you want to see growth, especially if you want to see, engagement on your social media, not just the platform, but the people on your social media are looking and going, oh, well, Kristen only posts about like Thrive. And I'm just not ready for that yet. But wait until they see Kristen post about the minivan. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, I didn't know they have an auto bonus. I didn't know she actually earns an auto bonus. I thought that was just BS. Yeah, Kristen, I think that does happen with some people. And I will say the double-edged sword to that is the VIP bonus is incredible. It's an incredible incentive to joining our business. The other part of that is when people don't hit it, they get sad. But then there's people like Maria who are earning, Lord knows, every month, who didn't hit their VIP. They just stayed consistent. There are lots of people within our business who didn't hit their VIP. They're just staying consistent. So I don't believe it should be a make or break. Maybe we can get them on the phone, Kristen, and we can chit chat with them, because I understand how it can be discouraging. But also what I love is like, it's your first 14 days of your business. It's your first 2 weeks. If you don't hit it, it's not money you didn't have. But if you do hit it, it's extra money. And then you can keep going from there and keep building. And the people just really have to remember, just like everything else, growing a plant, growing a child, all that stuff. 14 days is not enough time to see consistent relative results. A lot of people do, just like our samples. A lot of people see a difference in 4 days, but some don't. And those some that don't, right? Don't we get so sad when they don't continue their 4-day trial, because we know that the product will work if they stay consistent. Same thing with business. Same thing with your social media. We know it works if you stay consistent at all costs, even when you're not getting the likes, even when you're not feeling like it. And that's why too, utilize some of the people on this team that you can follow. And maybe for that day, you're like, I didn't take a shower, or I'm just not feeling it. And you see Kelly posted about air conditioning and it's blowing up. Go post about air conditioning. We all have different audiences. Not one single person on here has the same audience. If you do, you need to go delete some people and start refollowing some people. We shouldn't have the same audiences, right? So hopefully that helps you in building content. The ABCs, is it attractive? Does it match your brand? And are you staying consistent? And then just remember, we have the lifestyle posts. If you're ever searching for something inside the Hustle and Grow page that's not inside boards, like, so if it's the lifestyle post that I make, if you go to the Hustle and Grow page, the team page, and you go to that little magnifying glass, and you type in lifestyle, it'll bring up all the posts that I made. Well, it's going to bring up everything that has lifestyle in it. So you might want to put lifestyle post, because I just saw a picture of a lifestyle getaway, but it will have all of that set up for you. So you can go through those. You can store those, but just remember too, they're stored there. So it's very simple to find things. You could find anything in there with simply using that magnifying glass. So, oh, I want to take a picture of you guys before we go. I almost forgot. Say hello. All right, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget tonight we have our regular team huddle, 7 p.m. We'll be at the same Zoom. Please get your teams on for that one too. I know that they're recorded, but let's be honest, nothing's better than being on live and getting motivated. So love you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. See you next time.